Hi everyone, this is Anthony Rees from Chef, and today we're going to take a look at Habitat and how we can take a Java application, build that Java application using Habitat and run it on a VM in AWS, but also take that application and the same immutable artifact and turn it into a Docker container. So let's have a quick look at Habitat and talk about the three main areas of Habitat. So the first area here is really the plan. That's what we're going to take a look at the moment in this for this Java application. And the plan allows you to be able to define all of the dependencies for the application so that you can build the application, which can either be run as a heart file by the process supervisor on the VM, or you can export it, take that heart file and export it to Docker or Kubernetes or Mesosphere. You can run it on bare metal or you can run it on a VM in the cloud. It's completely up to you how you want to be able to do it. But the key here is that you only have to build it once, and then of course you can run it on your favorite platform. So let's go and take a quick look at our Java application. So the Java application basically goes and creates a war file. Okay, so pretty standard Java application. Now the Java application, we have to define how it's going to be built. And in this particular case, it has a dependency because it requires Tomcat, so it needs Apache Tomcat to be able to run as the web server. But it also requires the Java development kit. And in this case, we're going to use Corretto, which is the JDK, which is supplied by AWS. So we'll use that. We also need Mongo tools. This has a database at the back end, which is a Mongo database. And in terms of the build dependencies, of course we need Java again, but we also need Maven. So as you can see down here, we also define how to do the build, and it's basically just a Maven package. Okay, at the end of the day. And then, of course, we'd have to do the installation, which is pretty much just picking up the war file and copying it across into the directory so that Tomcat can find it and run it. So that's the plan. That's the Habitat plan, how we go about building the application itself. So let's go ahead and go and build that application. So let's have a look at the machine that we're running on here. So you can see that there's a Habitat directory here. Let's do an ls on that Habitat directory. And you'll see that I've already got my plan defined in there and a couple of other configuration settings as well. So we need to go into the Habitat Studio and build the application. Now the Habitat Studio is essentially a clean room. And that clean room will ensure that we have to have all of the external dependencies defined for the application so that the build can go ahead and take place. So we'll go and build that app right now. You can see it's pulling in what it requires. And now that we've built that application, we can now go and source that. So let's go ahead and do that. And now that I've sourced those details, we can now go and run that package because we've built it. It's essentially an immutable artifact. Let's go and check that. So in the results directory, you will now see that there is a Habitat heart file here. And that Habitat heart file is what we're going to go and execute. So let's go ahead and do that. That's not what I needed. What I want to do is let's run it. So hab service load. So we're going to load that package. And there we go. We've gone and loaded that particular package. And now if we go and check, we should be able to see that package running. So let's go and have a look at that. Come on, Google Chrome. Okay, there it is, up and running. And if I take the app name off it, we should also see that Tomcat is running there as well. Okay, There it is, excellent. And now what I can do is I can do a package unload, and just to show you that, when we unload it, you should see everything fail now. Okay, so that's unloading. Let's go and have a look, and Tomcat should have stopped now, and it has. Excellent. Okay, so that's gone and stopped that. Now, what we can do is, so now I've shown you running it on the VM itself, and once it's been run on the VM and I've tested it, which is great. So obviously can take that heart file, run it on any VM that we want in Azure, AWS, GCP, it doesn't matter. Now what we can do is we can actually go and export that exact same package to a Docker container. So the command is hab package export Docker, and then we need to give it the package to go and build for us. So this takes a couple of minutes to go and run, and it's basically taking that exact same file and then building it as a Docker container, which we can then go and run, and I can show you getting exactly the same results with that Docker container running as what we did with the Habitat heart file, which means that, again, you get the flexibility of being able to run either on a VM or be able to run on a Docker container, on Kubernetes, or your favorite scheduler of choice as well. So here it goes. It's just building that now. You see it pulling in Tomcat, pulling in all of the libraries, and verifying all of the libraries that have been pulled in when we did the build originally. Okay, it's doing the bin linking, doing the root FS. It's almost finished now. Once it gets through that, it can build the Docker image itself. And there we go. All right, we'll jump out of Habitat Studio and accept the Habitat license. It'll now load the container for me. There it goes. You can see it starting to load. Now let's go back and check and make sure that it's running. And here comes Google Chrome. And there it is, running as a container. So as you can see, we can run, we can export the same artifact, create it as a container, and we'll even be able to see that Tomcat is running there as well. There it is. And just to prove that there's nothing up my sleeve, let's go and kill that. Hasta la vista. There we go. And if we go and test that, dead. There we go. So that's how you can use Habitat to build your Java application as either a service, which you can run on a VM on your choice of cloud platform or infrastructure in your own data center, or you can take the same artifact and be able to run it as a container with one simple export command. I hope this was helpful. As always, let me know if you've got questions. Happy to help you out.